How the Rich Make Money, The Secret Lies in Cash Flow and the Art of Managing Fortune. Greetings to all of you. Have you ever wondered how much wealth you could accumulate in your entire life? Have you ever thought about how much money you can realistically earn over your lifetime? Let's test your financial intelligence for a moment. Suppose that in your entire life, the maximum you could earn is 10 billion VND. So, how can you change your destiny and earn far more than that? If you cannot answer this question, there is only one reason. You don't truly understand money, and you also don't understand Buddhist financial philosophy. Today, I'm going to reveal some truths about the capital market, truths that may offend certain major corporations and even influence the interests of some countries. So I'll speak subtly, but clearly enough for you to understand. The first thing you must remember: never think about owning money, because money never truly belongs to you. Money always belongs to your nation. What we need to do is simply find legal ways to bring money into our pocket, and then let that money continue to circulate and work for us. As long as you understand that money doesn't belong to you, you can change your destiny, and your wealth will no longer have a limit. Those who have followed me for a long time already know this. Have you noticed that truly wealthy people hate holding cash? For example, I sell stocks today and make a profit. But if that money just sits still in my hands, I feel uneasy. This may sound similar to gamblers, right? Actually, the rich and gamblers are separated by a very thin line. The difference is, gamblers use money to take risks, while the wealthy use money to buy assets that generate passive income. Why do the rich dislike holding cash? Some will say, don't businesses need cash? Wrong. The most important thing for a business is not cash, but cash flow. Have you heard of dead money? Money that does not circulate becomes dead money. For example, some parents work hard their entire lives to save money for their children. But when they pass away and that money is finally spent, the amount that could once buy a house can now only buy a bathroom. Inflation kills dead money. If you don't know how to increase the value of your money, if you only know how to save it, your money loses value every single day. Take out your wallet and look at the cash inside. Does it have your name on it? No, it has your country's name on it. So who determines its value, you or your country? Actually, neither. The truth is more complicated. I once asked a top investment banking expert, a real financial shark, and from him I understood how the rich turn dead money into living money, and how the world harvests from ordinary people like shearing sheep. I've already warned you, even sharing this might offend powerful entities, so if you find this valuable, like the video because you might not find it again later. This channel was created to share wealth-building knowledge, to help you become entrepreneurs and financially free individuals. If you don't want to miss essential insights, subscribe and turn on notifications. Let me share a practical piece of knowledge. I once told people to use financial leverage to buy more real estate. Someone asked, what if housing prices fall? What if I can't repay the debt? What if I go bankrupt? Let me tell you a simple story that may break down your mental barriers. A banker had a son who asked, Dad, this bank doesn't belong to you. Why do you earn so much money even though you're just an employee? The father told him, go to the fridge and bring me a piece of meat. The son did so. Now put it back. The boy became annoyed but obeyed. He asked, Dad, are you playing with me? The father smiled. No, I'm giving you the answer. Look at your hands. The boy looked and suddenly understood. Grease was on his hands. Do you understand? The reason the rich always borrow money is to keep money flowing through their hands. Where there is flow, there is profit. But don't misunderstand. I'm not teaching you to commit fraud or do anything illegal. What I want to emphasize is, we need the right to use money, not the right to own it. Now let's talk about the companies behind games like Arena of Valor or Honor of Kings. Do you think they earn money from selling games? No, you download them for free. So how do they make money? If I told you these companies are actually financial companies, would you believe me? Think about it. A business cannot print its own money by law, right? Or can it? Well, what is money? From the first lesson today, we know money has two functions: medium of exchange, unit of value. If something satisfies these two conditions, it can become money. Game currency satisfies both. Players use it to exchange for goods. skins, spins, items. You can get game money by paying real money, logging in daily / using time. Game money can be exchanged back to real money in many ways and can be used to buy goods. Credit card points are also money. Points can even buy a house if you have enough. So if a company can create its own form of money and a community believes in and uses it, then that thing is money. Bitcoin succeeded for the same reason. In today's era, if you're an entrepreneur but don't even have 5,000 followers, how will you build a business? Customers are no longer just customers, they are fans. Apple fan, me fan, Tesla fan, LV fan. This is how modern capital works. So how do trading platforms operate? They don't earn mainly from fees. They earn from the flow of money. When you deposit $1 million, their books instantly show $1 million more. If 1 million people each deposit $1 million, imagine the scale. What matters is not the number, it's how that money is used. The rich earn from cash flow. The poor let their money sleep. ***. When you leave money idle in the bank, others are borrowing and using it to create more money for themselves. If you've stayed until here, you already understand how to use financial tools to play the cash flow game. Now let's talk about Robert Kiyosaki's book, Fake. It reveals a piece of economic history that most people still don't understand. One that changed the entire world. To become strong, you must study the strongest forces. And one of the strongest is the United States. Why is the US so powerful? The Rothschilds said, "Whoever controls the money supply controls the world." Humanity once used gold as the universal exchange medium. In 1944, 44 major countries decided only the US was allowed to produce gold. Other countries were forbidden to freely own it. Gold became the only global settlement currency, and only the US controlled it. Thus, the US could use gold to buy the world's resources, the best technology, the best talent. This is how they became the global hegemon. But this was just the beginning. Why is the US dollar called the dollar? Americans found gold too inconvenient, so they turned gold into paper and called it the US dollar. Other countries agreed to this. The dollar became the global settlement currency. After Nixon abandoned the gold standard, the US could print unlimited dollars. The value of the dollar depended only on America's credibility and economic strength. The US has printed tens of trillions, and it increases every second. So when you ask, what if housing prices fall? What if I can't repay debt? What if I go bankrupt? I ask you, what if your cash keeps losing value? What if the US can't repay its debt? Do you want to hold cash? Or assets like real estate and gold? The US is drowning in debt, but it can't collapse because it controls the system. The future, AI, virtual worlds, metaverse. We're moving into an entirely new economic system. Just like how online games created virtual currencies, the future metaverse will create new forms of money. Will it still be the US dollar? If not, what happens to the US? You can share your thoughts. One thing is certain, cash will continue losing value. The internet, AI, and metaverse will reshape everything. Just like e-commerce destroyed traditional retail overnight. Those who adapt early will win. Those who wait will lose. Entrepreneurship is a science. It has rules, can be learned. ***. Everything I share comes from real experience, not theory. Now, the most important lesson, how to turn dead money into living money. ***. This involves intangible assets. Land is actually an intangible asset, because what you truly buy is the right to use the land, not the land itself. Everything except what you eat does not truly belong to you. That is the greatest truth of this world. Example, you have $10 million and I have $10 million. You keep your $10 million in the bank. I use my $10 million to buy land under my company's name. Your cash loses value. My land increases in value. Year 1, 10M. Year 2, 20M. Year 3, 40M. This increase becomes profit on the financial statement. After 3 years, my company can be listed because its revenue grows 100% yearly from asset revaluation. You still have $10 million in the bank. That is dead money. Why do I encourage people to start companies? Because the rules of capital markets are made by capitalists. The poor never have the advantage. A true story. A businessman bought a $50 million painting. If he bought it personally, it's just a hobby. If his company bought it, the painting becomes a fixed asset, and the company can depreciate it, deduct taxes, increase asset value, raise capital, and more. This is how wealth is created.